All right, it's April 2023. The weather's a little chilly, but this year we're going to try and prep the RT10 for some track days, in particular with the Illinois VOA region. Now, if you're watching this, you've probably seen a lot of my other videos. You may know that literally every fluid on this car has been changed. Brake fluid, trans fluid, diff fluid, obviously oil, coolant, etc., etc. That is probably the minimum you need to do to get this car or this 24-year-old vehicle on the track. First thing that was, other than that, I bought a Snell approved helmet. This is the Simpson Viper helmet. I mean, come on, look at this. That matches the Viper logo almost perfectly. It was a necessity for me. So that wasn't cheap. That was about $430, and that just came in the mail. I'm gonna go ahead and rock the OEM brakes, and I know this is gonna be a weak point, but I'm not gonna really push this car to its limits. I just want to get more familiar with it, right? Driving down the street, you can only test it out so much. I do have BC Racing coilovers on it, and I just did an alignment of the rear tires. So I took a little bit of the negative camber out from my 2-inch drop. You may be able to tell that it's a little bit more straight now, as opposed to the more tilted in negative camber I was rocking before. So that was better. I'm gonna have a lot better contact patch in the rear. And I actually tested that just doing a couple pulls. I have a lot more grip, so that's good. Some people will come in and actually pin the crank snout bolt. I'm not going to be able to show you. It's down there. I'm not going to do that. A couple of reasons is it sounds like a lot of people that have a pulley driven supercharger will have to do that because of the extra torque on that balancer, harmonic balancer with the bolt there. I am NA. I'm not having a ton of power. I got about 450 wheel horsepower, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. What I am going to do, and what I'm going to do in this episode or this video, is basically do what Row Racing accomplished for the power steering cap. So what's known to happen in these Gen 2s is this cap will come loose, and or you'll get fluid coming out of this little vent tube. So I'm going to try and come up with a little vent tube, maybe just source some parts from Home Depot, a little clamp with a hose coming out and drain straight down and bypass this extremely hot manifold, because it has been known that power steering fluid will leak. Get on your exhaust manifold and you'll get a fire. So that's my number one concern. Obviously, like I said, I've done all the fluids. I got new tires. I've put this thing through its paces, so I feel very comfortable. I got the necessary safety equipment. So I just want to try and minimize any other concerns. So I'm going to go ahead and tackle that vent tube. That's super easy. Should be less than 20 bucks in parts to do. And again, Row Racing, they're out of business right now, but they did come up with these smooth tubes. I did buy those from them a few years back. Actually, when I bought the Viper, I bought those. So I'm going to take you along Home Depot, see what I come up with. Okay, so my dad and I just went to Menards and we picked these fittings up. They should be for PEX. They're 3/8 sides. And we found this 5/8.
I don't know why you even have to. Why couldn't you just have it go?
We could just have it go.
Go in between the lines here.
5/8 fuel line, 5/8 inch fuel line, and we're gonna do.
There's a.
There we go. Sous chef. Yeah, there it is. So we're gonna do this. What is it? 5/16. I'm sorry. ID and 5/8 OD. And that fits on this fitting real nice. And we could just do something like that. Without even having to use those 90-degree fittings, but we bought them. The original idea was to have this go into a 90-degree fitting, and then a 90-degree fitting, and then have it go straight down. But that actually, just having something like that may work. We're gonna play around with it, show you what we can end up finalizing the design with. Pops and I just finished up our little mechanism. It actually turned out really nice. So we did use these fittings just because they look cool, and it allows us to route the tubing as far away from this manifold as possible. So you can see we kind of fed it through the brake lines, use some zip ties right there and there, so we have it pretty far away from the heat, and it's securely mounted. I did use a clamp right there, but yeah, the brass actually doesn't look terrible. It looks like it kind of belongs in the engine bay. Only probably the Viper people would really know it's there, but well done, Pops. All right, stay lucky, everyone.